I have a question. GTNH. What does it stand for? That's a very important question. Right? Don't you worry. I'm going to cut it out. Gustavo's telephone? But why would GT stand for Gustavo's telephone? I don't want Gustavo's telephone. Okay, I figured out what it stands for. Gabriella's telephone. I know. I'm a genius. Here is a problem. I don't know any Gabriellas. Maybe it's not a telephone. Maybe it's a giant tank. German things? Girly things? Greg's tooth? Grandma's feet? Grumpy tacos? No, garbage tools. I have no idea what it stands for, but hello everyone, and welcome to the 10th episode of Grandma's Feet, Nagging Horses. How are you guys doing today? How's life? Today I want to start the episode by doing a few quality of life improvements. If you guys remember, last episode we did manage to get vanadium steel and we upgraded our tools. It's not very shocking or surprising because I was searching for it in the NEI. We want cobalt. As far as I understand, there are two ways of getting cobalt. One of them is from the cobaltite ore which we find in the Twilight Forest, and if we centrifuge it, we get a tiny pile of cobalt dust. But apparently there is also a cheaty way of getting it from the LV quest line. We just need something from the Twilight Forest, which is actually not difficult to understand because if you search for cobalt, it's actually showing you. Ironwood pickaxe has a mining level of cobalt, and in order to get the GregTech version of ironwood, we basically need live root, we need iron dust, and tiny pile of gold dust. I have been mining a lot in the Twilight Forest and we should have a decent supply of live root. And by decent I meant more than 22. I came to the Twilight Forest to gather a little bit more, but then I realized each recipe actually gives you 2 dust and I just need to make a pick. So the 24 that we have right now should be more than enough. Although making the armor itself isn't that bad as well. I macerated the live roots, so here is the dust, here is some iron dust, and here is a tiny pile of gold dust. I basically macerated the coins that you get from Tomcraft. That gives us 48. Nice. And thankfully it does not require anything stupid, we can just melt it. So ladies and gentlemen, here is the pick, and here is our shiny armor. Obviously we're also going to have the leggings and maybe the helmet. Yes, I look very fancy with beautiful eyes. And I am assuming we don't need you guys anymore, so you can despawn. Hello, where is your mommy? Okay, maybe you don't need a mommy. He hit hard. Oh, there's a party here. And there's my cobalt. What the hell? Okay. Maybe I should have gotten it from cobaltite. It was much safer. But in any case, I do understand that it was easier to get it from cobaltite, but I also wanted to get the ironwood armor. So, I'm happy. Do I dare? He's invisible. He dropped a gas tier. Nice. Anyhow, you guys get the gist. Let me gather some ores and I'll be right back. Actually, I think with this piece of irodite, our quest should be complete. Yes, irodite and cobalt. We also had a dangling quest in the LVH in order to gather half a stack of tetrahedrite, tipnite and copper ore. This one is also complete. Also, I do have a question which maybe technical people can answer me. When I mine, I drop a lot of items on the ground and they don't despawn. Is it a bad thing? Or, I don't know, maybe I should wait 5 minutes for everything to despawn. He was painful. Anyways, if you guys know anything about the despawning items, please let me know. And maybe there is something like a dank null in this version of Minecraft and I don't know it exists. I know that there used to be something from extra utilities, but I can't find it. Well, I did manage to get 24 pieces of cobalt dust from the ores that I mined from the nether, but we also got a lot of these tiny piles of cobalt dust, which I got from centrifuging cobaltine, which is something that I'm continuously doing, so we're getting plenty of it. And by the way, I thought maybe I should upgrade my sword with manulin, but then I noticed something very weird in the recipe. So you put it inside the blast furnace, you will get hot manulin ingot, and then you have to put it in a freezer, which is not something that we have, so for the moment we deposit it somewhere. Over here is fine. And in total we get 44 pieces of cobalt dust. Of course, as usual, we should be able to put some sort of a gas inside our electronic blast furnace in order to process the cobalt, but unfortunately I do not have any of the gases. So basically we have to go the expensive way. I have upgraded all of my tools to cobalt, except the lumber axe, which there you go. There are a few more things that I want to do, but for the moment, let us get back to the quests. We need to make silicon wafer. The thing is, I'm still having problems making diodes because I do not have a reliable source of arsenite. There is another recipe for it, using silicon wafers. Making it also requires gallium arsenide, but it's a far better ratio. But just to make sure that all the quests are going to count, we need 832 pieces of clay dust. And of course it's nighttime. Good morning. There is a rule that you should not poop where you eat, so we're going to get the clay from here, which is far away from our base. What is that? Oh, you're just glitched. By the way, did you know we have a second entrance? But for the moment, it's just an entrance. Okay, while we are processing the clay dust, let us focus on some machines. I need more oil, so we need an advanced pump. Actually, you know what? Eventually I'm going to need to make more machines, so let's make more casings. Well, 4 is what we can afford at this very moment. Here is the pump, and you are going to be painful. Okay, well, thankfully now we have a functioning extruder, so it's going to be relatively cheaper, but just by a bit. I actually just remembered we got 8 motors from a reward, and that should help us a bit. I'm also out of diodes, so we need to buy a few. How did you get in? Yeah, I really don't know how he got in. Everywhere is lit up. Oh, we have a creeper. Having a creeper next to my storage is never a good idea, so we need to take a walk. Is it gone? Yes. I thought we were going to have enough resources in order to make 4 more circuits, but unfortunately we're out of gold. Well, at least the gold ingots. But anyways, here is my combustion generator, and I have a feeling that if I want to use these mining pipes that we have over here, I actually have to mine like 70 blocks down. We're not gonna do that. I do have random steel pipes everywhere, we're just gonna use them. Oh, wait a minute. You cannot convert the big ones? Ew, that is sad. I'm not exactly sure if we are completely out of oil over here or not, but it's okay. This is an LV pump anyways, so it cannot dig that deep. We just take the tank and go to the new location, which is over there. Anyways, here is the pump, here are the pipes, here is your tank. Oh, I don't have wire cutters. It's kind of stupid. I'm carrying electronic pistons on me, no wire cutters. This is the 3rd time I'm pillaring up. So my dear friend, are you pumping? No. Oh, you are pumping. Okay. According to the quest book, you guys were supposed to be fast? You're not that fast. I'm not exactly sure if this was a wise decision or not, but once the spout was gone, I did lower the pump by, I don't know, like 15 blocks, because the reservoirs are very deep and we need to maximize our range. You see, we are already out of pipes. I should really put a door here. You are too jelly to use this. What? Okay. I can just put it in then. Also, it seems that I have gotten my ratios wrong again. We have 40 heavy fuel cells and 2 light ones. Also, we have a bit of an issue and we're out of steel. And the main reason that we are out of steel is that we're out of charcoal. So we need to get a little bit more wood. We have a super OP lumber axe, and let us see how this one will perform. That was nice. Well, I think for the moment, we're good. I have been electrolyzing clay for a while, and we have a decent supply of silicon. That should be the quest. Yes. I think according to the recipe we need half a stack of silicon dust and 1 gallium arsenide in order to get 1 silicon. We have 4 pieces of gallium arsenide dust and 2 stacks of silicon dust. Will it work? Yes, it does. Running perfectly. It's just that it's going to take 7.5 minutes? Holy! Just to clarify, 7.5 minutes for each one, so 30 minutes for all 4. But at least in the meantime I can work a little bit on my fuel production. And just in case, let us make more cells. I want to gather more clay, but our first silicon is ready. And yes, I did get the quest. So I'm assuming we just cut you, right? You should give me 16. Yes, it is going to give us 16 wafers, but now I'm thinking, okay, each wafer is going to give us 1 diode with molten glass. If we use polyethylene plus annealed copper, it will give us 4. Oh, getting annealed copper is going to be painful. It should be done in a blast furnace with oxygen and it will take 25 seconds. Okay, it's not that bad. But I'm assuming our next order of business is to work on polyethylene. You might notice that it has been a while later, but unfortunately I have not done anything which has to do with quests. I basically worked on the base. I have hooked up our machines, and since I hate the idea of looking at chests, everything is back here and everything is labeled, so I know what to do. So we can craft everything in bulk and put them inside the chest. I have also finished our second exit, which leads to our boiler area. Is it daytime? Yes. Are we safe? Yeah, generally speaking, I just worked on the base, gathered a few resources, made some aluminium, steel, diesel, and so on and so forth. And this machine is not supposed to be here, but since the combustion generator has diesel in it, well, I couldn't move it. And you might notice, I also processed a lot of ores. Actually, maybe we should take more. So my dear friend, you make me more aluminium, you guys make me more steel, and just before we start focusing on polyethylene, there is something that I want to try. There is a scanner, and I think this is for ores. The problem is that in order to unlock it, we need to make these sensors, and they're not as easy as you would think. We have one exquisite emerald, and we need to smash it down into flawless. And I think we need to buy more diodes. We are out of electron, but for the moment here is the sensor, and that should be a quest? Yes, thank you. Oh, this is very slow. I do it by hand. Yeah, this is much better. We also need one ender pearl, and there you go, the emitter. I don't think it's very useful. It can scan crops, machines, and pollution. I was sure that there is a scanner, which, yeah, it's LUV. Oh, the one that we're looking for is called a Prospector Scanner. Yeah, that is not my priority for today. Or maybe it is, it just depends how we have to make a hydroxide cell. That's not going to happen today, because we need sulfuric acid and we need hydroxide. And obviously I have none of them. But on a positive note, we did finish a few quests. I have so much aluminium and silicon dust that I don't really know what to do with them. We're going to take the loot bag. You already know the drill, right? Sword of the Cosmos. I should really empty my inventory before I do that. Oh, we got screws. It was an MV loot bag. You give me fences? Good. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, this is the recipe for the Sword of the Cosmos. At first I thought it's not that bad, but once you look at the Infinity Catalyst, you would notice that we need something called Eternal Singularity, which you would think it doesn't look that bad, but for instance, this is called a Meteoric Singularity, and this is the recipe. And these are blocks of bedrockium, okay. Anyways, let me craft a few machines that we need. I'll be right back. It has been a while later and we do have a pile of machines. Well, not all of them are machines, some of them are tanks, some of them are combustion generators, some of them are LV machines, and some of them are MV machines. It used to be slightly bigger, but I had to use some of the machines in order to make wrought iron. This is something that I should have done much earlier, but I was lazy. Basically what we're trying to do is that we're taking iron ingots, we're converting them into nuggets, we're cooking the nuggets, and then we're converting it back into ingots. And very slowly, we get wrought iron. Our main goal is to make polyethylene. So let's start doing that. That is a lot of machines. I didn't notice. Not all the machines that I have made are going to be used for polyethylene. Some of them were actually quests in the MV age and I just wanted to complete them. Like the precision laser. Because for some reason we need it in order to make circuits. I also made the advanced assembling machine and the chemical reactor. And finally I also made a miner. I want to see what it does. The way that I have understood this, in order to make polyethylene, we have to start by making light fuel. We are already making it, but I'm actually using that light fuel in order to make diesel, so we can't afford wasting that. So we need to make it again. That pipe is the connection for oil, so we're going to take another connection out. I think it's centered with the tank. Anyways, the oil has to go inside the distillery so that we get sulfuric light fuel. And yes, I know, I forgot to bring circuits. Sulfuric light fuel was circuit number 2. And of course we cannot test anything unless we have oil. Do you have oil? Yeah, you have a decent supply. Endermen are jerks. One of them actually left a grass block in my steam tank. Very good, very good. We are also getting oil. This is going to be a temporary setup, so for the moment we're going to have a little bit of janky wiring. Basically what I want to know is that, do you work? Okay, that is sulfuric light fuel. Good. So now that we have the sulfuric light fuel, we need to mix it with hydrogen inside the chemical reactor. And that should give us light fuel. Oh, when it reaches 12 buckets. Okay, that has to wait. The distance that you have to walk in order to bring back oil is insane. Maybe later on I actually should invest in a railroad. Also, my dear friend, you're not pumping fast enough. Once we get the light fuel, we need to infuse it with steam. I did try to take steam cells from our tank over there, but apparently that's not working. The only recipe that I found which works is that we need to use a fluid canner. So do you work? Yes, okay, we have 12 buckets of light fuel. For the moment, you go inside another chemical reactor. Here is steam, or maybe we don't go with steam, we go with hydrogen. That seems to be a better yield. Yes, with circuit number 3 and 3 hydrogen cells, we will get severely hydrocracked light fuel. What does it mean? I have no idea. All of that being done, we need another distillery in order to convert it into ethylene. That needs circuit number 10. Okay, it seems that I've made a very small boo-boo. There is a difference between mixing it with steam and hydrogen, and we need the steam version. So now if I give you power, will you work? Please? You should give me ethylene. Yes, ethylene. That was a pain. Now that we have ethylene, we need another chemical reactor with circuit number 1 and oxygen, and that should give me polyethylene. Are you? Yes, polyethylene. Good. We just have to make it look nice and somehow automate it. I don't know how. I do actually spend more time trying to make something look symmetrical than making the parts itself. So yeah, it has been quite a while. It's exactly the same thing that we built together, I just made it vertical. The way that it works is that instead of having that giant railcraft tank that we had up here, I'm just having an LV tank, which later on we're going to replace it with a super tank. Anyways, I will deposit the oil inside that tank, it will come to this one, then we have two branches. One of them goes for making diesel and the other one goes over here inside the distillery, which with a circuit number 2, it's going to make us sulfuric light fuel. The sulfuric light fuel goes inside the chemical reactor, we mix it with hydrogen and we will get light fuel. The way that we're getting hydrogen is that I'm using these tanks from Railcraft, we're extracting the water, water goes inside an electrolyzer, we get hydrogen cells and oxygen. And by using some translocators, we have the hydrogen cell on a loop. So basically the empty cell is extracted, goes back inside the electrolyzer, we get hydrogen cell, and goes back inside the chemical reactor. I needed one block gap over here in order to extract the oxygen, therefore we also have a gap over here. Anyways, the light fuel goes inside another chemical reactor, we infuse it with steam, and we get severely steam cracked light fuel, which I have no idea what the hell it is. And of course we also have a loop for the steam cells, but then we put the cracked light fuel inside the distillery, and we get ethylene. I also have a buffer tank over here which we can store ethylene inside and we can take it inside cells, but we also have a fluid solidifier, so that if we want to make polyethylene sheets in order to make pipes, we can do that. For the steam, I'm just using one solar boiler. That's it. Also at first I thought translocators are expensive, but this is red alloy, which is extremely cheap. And this is aluminium casing, and one aluminium plate actually gives you two. So it's very cheap. But since the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen are different, we are actually very low on oxygen. I don't know how to fix that. Maybe I need a dedicated system for making oxygen, or of course I can just steal it from here, cause this one has excess. It's not fully automatic, but I don't think you can get better than this. But here is the best part. Now that we have access to polyethylene, we can make conduits. And that's the best part. Tiny PTFE fluid pipe. Molten polytetrafluoride. Go to hell. I have buckets, I'll just use buckets. I just noticed, did I cook all of my aluminium? That's the last 60 dusts. We still have a lot of ingots left, yes, okay. Just before we wrap up today's episode, there is something that I want to try. Actually, there are two of them, but I'm excited about the miner. I'm assuming taking a chest is also not a bad idea, and we're going to try this in the nether. Not because anything can go wrong, but most of the ores that I really want are from the nether. So I am supposed to give you mining pipes, and probably you're going to need some power. What will you do? That's netherrack. Are you actually digging? Oh, okay. You have to remove each and every one. So what if I put a chest? Extract from the top? Oh, it's taking the ores from here. How? I don't really understand its mechanic, but it's actually really nice. Yes, it's physically mining blocks, so it's like a quarry. But it has consumed almost 280 millibuckets of fuel, and that is the result. Well, considering that I can also make a chunk loader very soon, this could be worth my time. It's just that I don't really want you to dig over here, you're going to mess up my nether portal. So we have one more thing to try, and that is the precision laser. There are a few quests which don't look very hard. We need a lens. I'm assuming any exquisite gem that we have should work. Oh, it's one of those things that is going to take 4 billion years. And by 4 million years, I'm in 2 minutes. Yes, it's ready. So we put the lens in, we give you one wafer, and you should do something. No. Do you know why it's not doing anything? It doesn't have power. I just remembered. Now it's working. Okay. Also, it was mentioned, do not look at the laser. What will happen? Nothing. Okay, or for random access memory chip, we are going to have a bit of a problem. Oh, we have one. Okay, that's good. Also, for the quest itself to be completed, we need to cut it. Oh, it's MV cutting. Okay, that is not a huge problem. We already have an MV cutting machine. Integrated logic circuits. Oh, this got really complicated really soon. What do they even do? It's okay, we're going to finish the quest, the circuit will be unlocked, and then we will understand what it does. Anyways, random access memory chip. This quest has been completed. Very good. Are you kidding me? There is something called a circuit assembly line. Oh yeah? There is, but I don't really think we can craft it. It says ULV input bus. Okay, that one is not going to happen, but this one actually might. Anyways, that is something that we have to figure out next episode, because I think it's also a good time to wrap up this one. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.